I have completed my MBA last year.
Okay.
Yeah, so I'm having 1 year of experience in HR.
Okay. Okay. Great.
Okay.
Ruchi Yadav. Okay, Vasudev, we got that. No worries. Can we have an introduction of Ruchi Yadav? Okay. Priyanka, any more to be are joining?
Yes, Mr. Ashok Sonur must be joining. I'm trying his
Okay.
number. Okay.
Okay. Okay. So let's start the session. And okay, before starting the session, here are some few tips that keep your camera on if possible. Please avoid multitasking. Pay attention to the live seminar and please make it interactive by asking queries. So as you all know that this is a demo session and here we are covering payment of gratuity act, which is related to payroll processing. Okay, so now what is gratuity? So if I have to define in one word, gratuity is a lump sum amount or it's a retirement benefit. So when it came into force on 16th September 1972. Now the question is, can an employer keep gratuity as a part of CTC? So the answer is yes and no also, because that depends upon the employer. If he can keep a gratuity as a part of CTC or he cannot. If he keeps gratuity as a part of CTC, then he has to calculate on 4.81% of basic. You can note this point, 4.81% of basic if gratuity has to be mentioned in CTC. Now gratuity is given for an employee who had worked for continuous 5 years of service in any one company. You cannot change companies in between. Now my question is, if it's a group company, is it applicable? Is gratuity applicable to that employee? If the company is group company under one group company, there are subsidiaries company, and if we change that tenure, that companies, for example, he has worked for 2 years in another company for 3 years, then is he eligible for gratuity? Yes, Shakti, can you answer this? Okay, no worries. So the answer is yes, he is eligible for gratuity. Now, in case of resignation, retirement and termination, as I have mentioned. Now, the condition of 5 years is not applicable in case of death and disablement. So, wherever if an employee expired, then this 5 years of clause is not applicable, and that too in disablement also. Okay. Now, applicability. So, every factory, mine, railway, port, plantation, this act is applicable. Every commercial establishment where 10 or more employees are there, this act is applicable. And gratuity, once applicable, it cannot be revoked. Now, wages in gratuity. So when we talk about wages, what all wages we include in gratuity? So that is basic plus DA, and that too last. So last basic plus DA, which does not include bonus, commission, HRA, overtime. So this is the definition under of wages under Gratuity Act. Now, what is the definition of employees in gratuity? Any person other than apprentice who is employed for wages and does not include and who is not a central or state government employee. So that person is employee in Gratuity Act. What is employer in Gratuity Act? Any authorized person, head of department or director. That is an employer in Gratuity Act. If we talk about the family in gratuity for both male and female employees. So himself, spouse, children, married or unmarried, are covered under Gratuity Act as a family in case of male and female both. His dependent parent, his wife dependent parents, and child of his predeceased son. So these all are treated as family in gratuity. If you have any doubts, please you can interrupt me and ask. When is an employee eligible for gratuity? As I said, on continuous 5 years of service in case of retirement, resignation, and termination, but not applicable in case of death and disablement. Continuous service means uninterrupted services, but it includes services which is interrupted on account of sickness, accident, leave, loss of pay. If that is penalty, then it's not included, or strike, which is a fault of an employer, if it is a fault of an employer. So this type of absenteeism is included in gratuity and it is treated as a continuous service. Now we will see gratuity calculations. So what are the gratuity calculations? See, there are different types of gratuity calculations for different types of employment. So let's talk about seasonal employment. Non-seasonal employment. That is for normal employees. What would be the gratuity calculation? It is basic plus DA, that is last, divide by 26 into 15 into number of years of service. Okay. So basic plus DA is last, divide by 26 into 15. Why 26? Because 4 Sundays are minus. As per the Factory Act, a month consists of 30 days and minus 4 Sundays is 26. Into 15, that is 15, that is 15 days gratuity after 1 year completion into number of year of service. So any doubt in this formula? Okay, so all employees are eligible for gratuity. Okay, Mr. Ashok, you have raised your hand. Any queries? Yes, any doubts? Okay, now for example, a person has worked for 25 years and his last basic is 1,50,000. So what will be his gratuity? So 1,50,000 divided by 26 into 15 into 25. So 21,63,462 will be the gratuity. So what we required only two things. One is basic plus DA, that is last, and other is number of years of service. So let's do some assignment here. I'll share an Excel file. Okay, so is that Excel file visible to you? Priyanka, is it visible? Priyanka, are you there?
Yes, yes. It
Is the
visible.
file visible?
Yes.
Okay, so basic plus DA is 25,000. And number of years, say 6 years. So now what we are doing different gratuity calculations for different term of employments, different type of employments. So this is for non-seasonal employment. Yeah. So we saw the formula basic divide by 26 into 15 into number of years of service. So basic is 25,000 divided by 26 into 15 into 6. So he will get a gratuity of 86,538. So this is the gratuity amount he will be receiving, 86,538. Now again we will come back to the slide. Okay, now what in case, okay, before that, just wanted to add one more thing, that if the gratuity is more than 20 lakhs, in that case, the maximum tax exemption limit is 20 lakhs. Now, in case of Amita, she has got a gratuity of 21,63,462, and the maximum exemption for gratuity, that is maximum gratuity limit for exemption is 20 lakhs. That means 16 lakh 342, that is 1,63,462 will be taxable, and rest will be tax exempted. In short, she will be getting the entire amount. There was a criticism when this bill passed on March 29, 2018, because it was favorable for the higher class only. For lower class, they doesn't reach to that limit of 20 lakhs. So that time there was a little bit criticism faced. Okay, now coming back to the gratuity calculation. So how to calculate gratuity in case of a death or disablement? If an employee, for example, expired during the service and that service period is less than a year, he will get 2 times basic plus DA. If that employee expire after 1 year and before 5 years, he will get 6 times basic plus DA. And 5 years more and 11 year less, 12 times, 11 years, more than 11 years and less than 20 years, 20 times. So again, here we will do some practical assignment. We will stick to that example. We'll again go back to the Excel. Okay, so now, for example, he is Mr. A, who has got a gratuity of 86,538. Now assume that, again, I have shared an Excel file, hope that's visible. Okay, now assume that employee, Mr. A, has unfortunately dies in the employment. So what would be his gratuity? Now he will be getting 6 times of basic plus DA of his last basic. So you can see, in case of death of Mr. A, he is getting 1,50,000. We have kept the basic same, we have kept the number of years same. The first example, when he is alive and within the service, he is getting 86,538. Second example, if he expired, he is getting 1,50,000. It's almost double. So that is the death benefit given to the member's family. Okay, now coming back to this PPT once again, now we will calculate it for seasonal employment. So now what is seasonal and what is non-seasonal? Non-seasonal we saw, that is normal employees. Seasonal employment, the calculation is basic plus DA divided by 26 into 7 into number of years of service. Earlier we took 15 for non-seasonal, but for seasonal we have to calculate on 7. So going back to our example, Mr. A, who is a seasonal employee. So basic plus DA divided by 26 into, don't write 15, write 7 into 6. So see, he can see the difference of gratuity for different terms of employment. That employee is same, but we have changed his type of employment. So now he is getting 40,385, whereas earlier he used to get 86,000. Now, how much he gets if that employee is not covered under the Act? So see, there is a difference if an employee is covered under the Act, an employee covered not. Okay, before that we will see the gratuity in case of an employment after disablement on reduced wages. Now, for example, Okay, now for example, Mr. A got disabled and then he again joined the organization with reduced wages. So wages before disablement will be considered and wages after disablement will be considered. Now, before disablement, that is before the accident, he was getting 25,000 and after the accident, he was getting 20,000. So what we will do, we will add those basic and divide by 2. Now we will calculate on this 25 plus 20, that is 45 divided by 2, 22,500. So this is the basic we will consider, rest the formula will be same. Basic divided by 26 into 15 into number of year of service. If you have any doubt, please let me know. Now gratuity calculation not covered under the Act. See, what is not covered under the Act? A company having less than 10 employees is the company which is not covered under the Act, are the employees who are not covered under the Act. For them, it is up to employer whether he wishes to give gratuity or he wishes not to give gratuity. He can give gratuity to a particular set of employees. He can give gratuity to a particular set of employees. He can't give, that is up to him. Now, how the calculation is done? Average salary, we have to calculate the average salary into 15 divided by 30 into number of years of service. Now, how the average salary is calculated? It is last 10 months of basic plus DA. So let's take a example again. We'll go back to the same example. Now this is gratuity not covered under the Act. Suppose Mr. A last 10 months basic, we will write down for an example. Okay, so just for example, I am changing the basic. Suppose if the basic has been changed in this last 10 months, then what we have to do, we have to calculate the average. How we calculate the average? We have to add those basic, then divide by 10. So 10,200 is the basic. So basic divided by 26, divided by 15 into 6. So 30,000 is the gratuity will be received if is not covered under the Act. Basic divided by 30 into 15 divided by into 6. So yes, this is the way we saw the different types of gratuity calculations for different terms of employment. Now disqualification. Employer can disqualify if the person has done any violence, theft or offense. There is a penalty of 6 months up to 2 years and fine of 10,000 or 20,000 or both. See, this was a glimpse of what we teach in this 2 days practical session. We have a course of complete payroll package, which has 2 days live practical session, the same way you saw today, plus 1 year access to payroll course, that is study material, plus 1 year access to payroll software, 100 plus FAQ and seminar recording. So this all cost, actual cost rupees 2,999, but under offer we are offering at just 999 up to 30th December. So this is the last 31st December. You will get at offer price of just 999. This is what we are going to cover: PF, ESIC, PT, Labor Welfare Fund, bonus, gratuity, payroll management, CTC calculator, income tax. There will be assignment, exam and certificate. You will be getting a 1 year telephonic support and mail support, access to mobile app, WhatsApp group and free updates. So these are some demo link which I will be sharing you. Again, we have another course of HR generalist, same price. The actual price is 1,999. Offer price is 999 till 31st December. And please subscribe our YouTube channel to get new videos and notifications. So with this, we are going to end the session. And so thank you very much for attending the session. If you have any questions, do let me know. Okay, assuming that there are no questions, we are here ending the session. So let me know if you want to avail the offer. You can contact Priyanka for that, or you can reach us for that. Thank you very much.